So Keith Ellison is trying to be the next head of the DNC, and the establishment keeps trying to float names out there to prevent this. They also did a massive smear campaign against him. So first it was Howard Dean that they threw out there. Howard Dean was once a true progressive, but then he became a lobbyist, and he sold out, and now he's one of the grossest establishment Democrats in the country. And so that didn't work. He stepped down because it was just not going to happen. Then they moved to some others, and then finally now they're on Tom Perez. Tom Perez is the labor secretary. Now, Harry Reid and Chuck Schumer are actually being very politically savvy about this because they basically sucked it up and endorsed Keith Ellison. And the reason they did it is because they're not as politically stupid as somebody like Hillary Clinton, and they know that the Bernie wing of the party is gone, just totally gonzo. If they go with another corporatist. It ain't going to work. So you got to have somebody like minimum Keith Ellison. And even many people in the Bernie wing are still like, you know what, I don't even know if I like Keith Ellison. Because, for example, Keith Ellison supported the military intervention in Libya. So that's like the minimum they're willing to accept in terms of how liberal or progressive the person is. So Harry Reid and Chuck Schumer are like, okay, we ain't going to win this battle. So we got to go ahead and endorse Ellison and then keep it moving. But so you would think, okay, well, those are two top Democrats. If even top Democrats, and yes, establishment Democrats, Chuck Schumer and Harry Reid are establishment Democrats. If they are willing to suck it up and endorse Ellison, then what the fuck's the problem? Why isn't this already over? Guess who's standing in the way? President Obama. Now, look, you guys know my feelings on President Obama. I've discussed it a million times before. I'll discuss it a million more. He's a mixed bag. So in many ways, he's the worst of the establishment Democrats. But in other ways, every now and then he surprises you and he does something where you go, I agree with you 100%. Releasing all these, breaking the record for pardons and commutations and releasing all these nonviolent drug offenders. Extending the overtime rules, which gives many people a lot more pay. Doing the Cuba deal. So he's a mixed character. I don't want anybody to get it twisted here. But this side of Obama is the worst of Obama. Now, why? Why is he so strong against Keith Ellison? Well, Huffington Post explains. Ellison called to curb the administration's aggressive deportations of undocumented Americans and opposed administration proposals to cut Social Security benefits as part of a never-enacted grand bargain with congressional Republicans. Ellison was an early opponent of Obama's Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal, arguing it would undermine American workers without providing adequate protection for foreign laborers. Perez supports TPP. Now, okay, so again, I want to be clear about this. I don't want to go too nuts on Perez because Perez was instrumental in changing those overtime rules. So the overtime rules used to apply to only people making $23,000 a year or less. Obama and Perez changed it so that it's $47,000 a year or less. That's a great thing for workers. And you go down the list of his accomplishments, he does have many liberal, progressive things he did. But he's fucking for TPP. And Obama is massively for TPP. Keith Ellison is against TPP. Keith Ellison opposed Obama tooth and nail when Obama wanted to cut Social Security and Medicare and make a deal with the Republicans. Anytime Obama moved in a conservative direction, like increasing deportations, Keith Ellison was there to say, not on my watch, I'm against it, and I'm going to speak out against it, and I'm going to vote against it, and I'm not going to stop just because you're a Democratic president. So Keith Ellison, significantly more progressive than Obama, significantly more progressive than Perez, which is why Obama goes, nuh-uh, bitch. If you ain't for TPP, I'm not supporting you. So Obama's establishment colors are showing right now. And he does not want Keith Ellison in this position. Well, I got news for Obama. You're the old guard. All your talk about hope and change became talk about incrementalism and take your half measure. Well, people don't want that. People actually want the hope and change. So they want Ellison because Ellison's saying, no, actually, I'm real hope and change. At least I'm going to be more progressive than these guys. But no, they're holding on. I don't think Obama gets it. The more you embrace the Hillary Clinton wing of the party, the more you move to the right, the more corporatist and establishment you are, the more you're solidifying Democratic losses as far as the eye can see. If the Bernie wing doesn't get control, there is no future for the Democratic Party. Do you understand that? That's not me speaking. That's the polls speaking. Bernie cleaned house with millennials. It wasn't even close. Bernie cleaned house with millennials. Bernie cleaned house with independents. It wasn't even fucking close. It wasn't even close. And now they're trying to shun that wing of the party moving forward. It's a disease. It's a democratic disease. For them, the answer is always, always run further to the right, be more corporatist, be more pro-establishment. Even when they get their fucking clocks cleaned running that strategy, they go, no, the answer was we didn't go further enough in that direction. You're goddamn wrong and you're going to keep losing. Get your act together and step the fuck aside and let the real liberals and progressives take over.